Here we go. Welcome everyone to the Gemini. It says full moon. It's not a full moon, it's a new moon. I have no idea why I didn't change that, but I didn't change it. Change the date. All right, let's call in sacred space. Let's take a big deep breath in. And as we exhale, we're dropping those grounding cords. Sending our roots down, 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 down into the earth. And then inhaling, drawing that earth energy up, up, up through our bodies while we keep our feet on the ground. Connecting with the divine above us, and then calling that cosmic energy down through our bodies, sending it all the way down into the earth, activating the as above, so below flow. And then connecting with that flow, breathing in, breathing out, activate the as within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. Moving to the north, we welcome Mother Earth. We give such great thanks for our physical bodies to be here right now, doing this sacred work on the planet. Moving to the south, we welcome water. We welcome clear, clean, current emotions. We welcome love, joy, flow, and abundance. Moving to the west, we welcome air, mind, focus, and clarity. All of our guides, angels, allies, and helpers in the invisible realm. And moving to the east, we welcome fire and movement and passion, divine right action. Moving to the center, we welcome our divine feminine and our divine masculine in sacred right relationship. We call that beautiful energy down through our bodies, and we call up Mama Gaia to pull and magnetize that energy through us. And we welcome our own sweet, extraordinary souls to the circle. We ask that all of these energies be with us, pray with us, and dance with us for our mutual benefit. I hope. All right. Here we go. Maybe. Come on, play. So I just want to say thank you. It's like every time we do this, doesn't matter how many of us there are, all over the planet, you all are anchoring source energy into the planet just by showing up, just by open and sacred space and using your body vessel as that conduit. So I just want you all to know how much I appreciate you doing that. You don't have to, and you do it. And it is important. Even if a lot of folks think I'm a little off my rocker about that, I think it's important, which is why I keep doing it. So let's all take a moment and just close our eyes, settle. Take a breath, settle into your bodies. And let your roots go down and let yourself feel, even if you've been trying not to. If you feel a little tired, that's normal. I'd worry about you if you didn't. It's just where we are right now, which is why we get kind of a break this time, I think. Kind of, but not really. So this one really literally, and when you see the chart, you'll understand why. It's really all about the buildup this time. I always try to give background. There's a lot of background because it's like there was all this movement and it's all orchestrated to, once again, keep clearing the decks, keep refining, keep clearing what we're taking with us across this threshold. And then it's just whew, for the new moon. So we can, set intentions, put desired outcomes out there, but we've been through the ringer. I'll just say that. This is what, the word on the street. The first half of June has given us a bit of a lull before the intensity continues. Now, I think all of it's felt intense, but that's what they're saying. It may not have felt like a lull to you. It didn't feel like that to me. But no matter what your experience, just keep reminding yourself it could have been a lot worse. Because apparently this was our lull. So Uranus, which is just the trickster out there now in Gemini, and it's going to be like this it's kind of like, whoop, look at that. He's squaring the lunar nodes, so the north node and the south node. So that's all about where we've been and where we're going. And it's about you beginning to zero in, and that's what all this is about. You beginning to zero in on who you are and why you're here. And clearing the decks. So if you have a lot of, when I sit in front of the altar in the mornings, tons of memories from, good golly, I can't even imagine that I'm still remembering these things, show up. And that is just the excavation happening. So it may show up like that for you. There may be challenges, old habits. This is the rub for people right now. Old habits that we have gotten so used to and so comfortable with that aren't going to work, that probably never really worked right. They're all up for review right now. And that's Mercury is dancing with Neptune, Pluto, and Saturn. And then there's also friction between Mars and Neptune and Venus and Chiron. So it's like all of that is rattling our cages. And this was our lull, rattling our cages to get us to look deeper and go, I could really pry my fingers off of that pet habit or false belief system or all of that. Now, part of the reason everybody was looking at this is the Venus conjunction with Jupiter. And it was also sextile with Uranus. And there was, all kinds of these magical qualities that were supposed to happen on June 9th. We're going to talk about them. But I have my own take on this, so we'll just do that. It's been touted, and maybe this is just because the rest of the year is so intense. This was the happiest spot. But, Venus and Jupiter both in Cancer, that's all about, it's like the best. Like Jupiter is all full of surprises and happiness. It's been touted to be one of the most generous and auspicious configurations of 2026. It happened on the 9th. So that was Tuesday of this week. And it's about growth through connection, generosity, affection, belonging, emotional fulfillment. So this is like dream your wildest dreams. Everything, and the good dreams. For those of us that, you see those posts in Facebook about how we've lived through several different decades and all kinds of history in one lifetime this time. And that would be folks my age or older. All those things that make us feel like happy days, or the nourishment, wholeness. It's like when family felt like real family, and when we didn't have all the noise of the internet. I mean, go back and dream your biggest dreams and revisit those dreams, and be positive and optimistic about those dreams. And here's the knee in the door. Keep it real. And that's these two, along with the moon now, are squared to Eris, which is a goddess meteor, and we're going to cover it in a moment, but there's that piece. And she's about keeping it real. And we'll talk about how that feels. The moon at this point, when all this was happening, was in Aries. So it was a little spicy. It had just moved out of that calm Pisces watery sign into fiery Aries. So you can think of it like all that emotion finally had a chance to become action, and feeling became movement. And we may have started thinking about things like saying, what am I going to do about it? If this is how things are, how am I going to move things forward? Juno and Vesta were also in the mix, and they were, Juno's all about devotion to committed partnership. Vesta is all about finding balance between your sacred work in the world. So many of you may have had thoughts about, why am I here? What am I here to be doing? Those impulses are on purpose. At the same time that you're supposed, that we have this big conjunction, everybody's out there setting intentions and watching the conjunction in the sky and all of that. There's these little whispers: clean up your relationship, make sure that there's a balance, make sure you're doing your sacred work. And then Black Moon Lilith going, make sure you're being authentic, true to your real self. So Gemini, we're in the Gemini sun at that point. And now we're in the Gemini sun and moon. That's where we're headed. So Gemini wants conversation. Lilith wants truth. She was in Sag at the time. So this left a big imprint that isn't gone on our psyche. This was like, whoosh. And it was a way of kind of, my perception is remember your dreams, remember why you're here, and clean up what doesn't fit those dreams, clean up what's still in your way with those dreams. So that was the 9th. That was Tuesday. Yesterday, my birthday, the day after one of the supposedly most lucky days in the year, the sky tested it. And so that next day, Mercury squared Saturn, and the warmth of the day before seemed like a fluke. It was too good to last. So, but what that might have looked like for you is inner turmoil. Your inner critic may have gotten really loud, the part of you that is braced for the other shoe to drop. All of that may have shown up. And it's useful. There's a reason. It's so you get to use your, even while it's happening, and I had the experience as well, while it's happening, you can go, no, you can feel the truth come in. Like your wisdom and discernment all automatically kick in. And it's like, no, this is just the noise trying to make me be afraid, trying to make me not step into what I'm supposed to step into, and not see the truth, not see what is real, not see the gold that lives inside of you. So it's kind of like when you feel a heavy mood, you can mistake it for being truth and you kind of walk away from what's real. We may still be in the throes of that energy today because it's just 24 hours. So imprint number 2. But it's all still working to clear the decks. It's all for this next quiet Gemini new moon that's coming Sunday. So notice the doubt, the heaviness, all the random, not good enough thoughts, but check the facts because mostly they're not true. But it is, it's an opportunity to go deep and in the quote unquote lull period, to get you ready for Sunday, which is the new moon. And it is quiet, like I said, a pure, and when I say pure, I mean pure Gemini new moon graces the sky Sunday, June 14th. That says 3. I didn't think that's right. That's not right. It's not 3:24. It's 9:54 p.m. Central Standard Time. So it's in the evening. I don't know why I put 3 up there. Now the 24 degrees and 3 seconds is accurate. So when I say pure, this is what I mean. There are no other major aspects of this new moon. It's just Gemini. She is getting to strut her stuff and play. So any Gemini new moon is great for initiating new thinking, learning, teaching, writing, all forms of communication. It has to be one of the least aspected new moons in a very long time, unless you look at less common planets, which what we will look at, and it's just, like I said, Vesta and Eris. It has no aspects at all. There's nobody across from it. There's nobody next door to it. So It's pure Gemini expression. And it has theme, Gemini is communication, networking, gathering information, exploring new ideas that are noteworthy. It also relates to local travel, neighbors, siblings, relatives, variety, curiosity. So all of those things that might be in your dream vision, Gemini is here to deliver. It thrives on diversity of experience and enjoys exploring multiple interests and perspectives at the same time, rather than getting into a very narrow, fixed approach. And this is the most important of all, it loves to have fun. It likes to go out and get information, bring it back for the tribe, and then have a party about it. Kind of like a camp out. Now, that sounds great. And we need that. Once again, it's that return to your vision, return to what makes you tick and what lights you up. And here's the picture. Here it is. This is all we get right here. Vesta and Eris. They're both in Aries. So we've had Venus to support whatever's been preventing that intimacy and alignment. The moon is now squaring Eris. And Eris represents the outsider, the excluded, that should be voice, not vice, the uncomfortable truth, the part of ourselves that refuses to be ignored. So it's been my experience that many women, and sometimes men, have a tendency to give, and put themselves last, and not take into consideration the bandwidth that they have physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually to keep giving. And also, how many people do we leave out along the way? So when she's activated, she disrupts what appears to be pleasant, peaceful harmony. So while Venus and Jupiter want to celebrate love, connection, and abundance, Eris is asking, who isn't being included? What truth has been pushed aside? Where have I compromised too much to keep the peace? Sound familiar? Those are the deeper questions that we have to ask. And once again, we're going to turn this around and make it positive. She's asking those questions to bring about positive change. It makes the conjunction more authentic and the intentions we set for this new moon more constructive. So Eris can force us to confront whatever's been preventing deeper intimacy or alignment. And sometimes a little discomfort creates opening for something better. And, that's what this is. And it may, depending on the choices you've made up to this point, it may only be just a little discomfort. It may feel really scratchy. From my experience was that even though on the surface, just like it said, even though on the surface, I had a lovely day, I could still feel the rumbles underneath. And so I felt grouchy, even though there wasn't any outside reason for the grump. If you've had that experience, it's not, there's nothing wrong with you. This is here to help you look deeper. And then there's a quintile with Vesta, which we talked about earlier as well. Vesta represents devotion and selfless service to a higher purpose. And so this is about adding creative magic and inspiration to all your intentions. It may inspire you to support a cause, a mission, or a purpose that matters deeply to you. not for personal gain, but because your heart feels called to contribute. And so, with all of that in mind, here's the questions for the day. What do you need to initiate during this new moon? What seeds do you want to plant? We're getting ready to move into a big ceremony week. This new moon kicks it off. If you haven't seen the advertisements yet, watch your email today, because Sophia is coming. She's here. And the next Sophia Summit begins on the 14th, Sunday, the new moon, and ends a week later, exactly, on the summer solstice. So this whole week, not just in my little world and in Summit world, but on the planet, this whole week is ceremony week. So treat it as such. This is the week of planting seeds. Are you living your purpose? Do you know what it is? And it's not necessarily your 9 to 5. It's what is your purpose, and are you living it? Where do you need to ask the hard questions to be more authentically you? And for many of us, even though we've been prodded, we haven't done it yet. Where do you need to say the thing? Where do you need to put your truth out there? Even if people are you already know the response. You have to say it. And I would tell you, if you have any Gemini in your chart, be careful, be nice, because sometimes things can roll out of your mouth before you have a chance to pull them back in. So think carefully, speak carefully, but speak your truth. I'm going to give you, because we have a little time, I'm going to give you a little minute to let you journal with those questions, and then we'll move into the card pull. Then just enjoy the ride, Val. I mean, I'd still tell everyone Gemini I have several planets in Gemini in my chart. It has a tendency to speak the truth, kind of, like I said, it won't sound harsh in your head, and you'll just go, bleh, and then you'll go, ow, I think I might have overstepped. So that's just caution. It's like, if you don't have, I mean, it's fun. Gemini energy is fun. So enjoy it. Val was asking if you don't have Gemini in your chart. I mean, I'd still be wary for the next 2 weeks, because this is a Gemini new moon. So it'll last at least 2 weeks, if not the whole 28 days. and its influence will be loudest beginning on, which I think, I'm a little crazy like this, but I think Sophia picked that day on purpose, because what a perfect day to bring new energy into the planet and new information that has never been heard before than on a Gemini new moon. Yeah. Good call, Roxy. Roxy says, see what house Gemini is in if you have it, and what planets it's influencing for sure. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move into the card pull. And these are lovely. It's a very supportive indicator of what's going to happen. So this is in the Earth door, I pulled receiving in the physical. The beauty of this planet is that there are as many ways to receive as there are givers and receivers. We can receive love with our emotions. We can receive information with our minds. We can receive energy by engaging our passion and action. And we can also receive in the physical realm. In fact, all those other ways are pretty much contingent upon receiving in the physical. We need a physical body to be here. And I am forever blown away by the gift of our physicality. All of us, our identity is our soul, but we get a physical body so that we can be here and do this work here in the physical realm. That is a huge gift. This way of receiving is literally written in the stars. The archetypal energy of Capricorn, an earth sign, lives in the North Door on the cosmic map. The North is traditionally known as the receiving door. And sometimes many of us have grown up with stories that keep us blocked from receiving in the physical. We may not feel like we deserve to receive. We may feel like we should always be giving rather than receiving. Programming, just saying. It helps to remember that we are designed to receive in the physical realm. That was truly part of the plan. We have to receive in the physical because we live in the physical realm. So during this information cycle, what are the old stories that are blocking your receiving? Where do you need to open and allow yourself to receive in the physical? So talk with Mama Earth and see what she has to say about that for you. While everyone is journaling with Earth, I'm going to push this back one to these questions. Marisol, jot those down really quick. What do you want to initiate? What seeds do you want to plant? Are you living your purpose? Do you know what it is? Where do you need to ask the hard questions to be more authentically you? And where do you need to say the thing? You're welcome. Okay. In the water door, I pulled magnetism. Like I said, these are amazing. We're all electromagnetic beings. Excuse me. We're literally drawing things to us all the time via our electromagnetism. That's the mechanical piece. Excuse me. And the frequency that we hold dictates the nature of what we draw to us. So, want to know something else that's magnetic? Water. Water can actually increase your electromagnetic current. Not only that, its cleansing properties clear the energetic blocks as the magnetic properties of water increase your magnetism. It's a win-win. So, where do you need more magnetism? Ask water to help you clear what's blocking you so you can magnetize your dreams. And then air, higher thought. The air realm actually influences and forms all the other elements. Internally, we do that with our thoughts. Our thoughts actually dictate all of our outcomes. The more we dwell in the realm of high vibrational thought, the better our outcomes and the more quickly we're able to manifest. Dwelling here can be as simple as intending to do so and then monitoring your thoughts. When you find yourself dipping into the realm of negative thought about yourself and others, you can quickly turn yourself around by deliberately moving your thoughts to things that bring you joy and spark gratitude in your life. These are two of the highest vibrational emotions and can bring you back up to the higher realms very quickly. For me, I have to go take care of the parents every morning. And I live in the country. And right now, the world is lush. It is a beautiful place to be. There's been a lot of rain, so everything's green, everything's growing. And to just look around and see how mom just keeps giving over and over, that always brings me back. It always brings me joy to surround myself in that. And it sparks gratitude. So think of the things that spark deep gratitude in your life. Another way to ensure that you keep your thoughts higher are affirmations, having high vibrational affirmations posted around you and making a point of reading them every day can go far to instill a high level of thought frequency in your field. So where do you need to reach for higher thought? And then fire, divine right action. On a planet of free will, we have so many choices. Some of us may be rethinking the free will thing. I mean, if we look around at the planet, you can probably go, well, how's that free will plan working? There could be many right actions. When there's one action that's going to lead us to our highest and best outcome, that's the one we want to pick. Which one is going to have the highest impact for everyone, not just ourselves, everyone on the planet? This is the choice of divine right action. With our small ego minds, we may not be able to discern which choice is best for us and others. This is when we need to ask. This is one of the it's like the superpower of this gateway on the medicine wheel. Asking for divine right action. What is the course of action that will lead to the highest outcome for ourselves, the planet, and all her inhabitants? You know, we left a lot of those words off of our intentions sometimes as we look around and we see the choices that humanity as a whole has made. It's a little bit disheartening. So where do you need to claim, like literally, this is commanding authority over your field, claiming divine right action, you know, divine creator, help me always choose divine right action, not my will, thy will, always. That's going to be the highest and best and safest for everyone. And then spirit, higher self. Your higher self is the part of you that is always connected to the upper realms. Some might connect this with their soul and divine energies. It loves you with an unshakable love that never ends because it knows the depths of who you truly are. It works tirelessly to remind you of this, knowing that when you truly remember your divinity, this life won't seem so difficult. Its goal for you is always self-realization, and that means remembering your high self, your soul, who you are at soul level. Even though it loves you deeply, it has very little concern for egoic needs and desires. It will always steer you toward the higher path and always meet you with total unconditional love. So during this Gemini time, it'll be very easy to reconnect with your higher self. What does your higher self want you to know right now? And then finally, I pulled a prosperity card, and I pulled affirm your abundance. We live on an abundant planet. You can't look outside your window and not see it everywhere. And truly, all of us enjoy abundance in so many ways, but we may have a tendency to forget that. One of the key tricks to remembering your abundance all the time is a gratitude journal. Making time to be thankful for what you do have creates the space for more. Another way to bring more of what you do want into your life is to affirm and give thanks for it before it arrives. Whatever we tell ourselves daily will find its way into our lives. So here's one that I like. My work is of high service and worthy of massive compensation. I'm offering my gifts to the world and being massively compensated. When you say that, you can usually feel the difference in your system. This is the magic of affirming your abundance. Look up a few abundance affirmations and read them every day, and then watch the magic happen. You just have to steer the car in the right direction. Yeah. I mean, the fact that we all get to be here together on our own little device, whatever that device is. All right. Somebody is asking for the earth and water. I'll go back here for just a minute. Earth was receiving in the physical. And where do you need to open and allow yourself to receive? And if you all want me to, I'll send the slides when I send the recording. Of course, you can always pause the recording if you want to watch it. Water was magnetism. Where do you need more magnetism? And ask water to clear what is blocking you so you can magnetize your dreams. And I'd highly advise that you go back and watch the recording so you can see how this all flows together if you have time. And we do have a few days. I always do it a little early so that you can get ready for the new moon. So you have a little time.
Kathy, where do you post these?
I email, well, now you won't get the slides, but I put them up on my YouTube channel. You can just find it under Kathy Forrest. And then I also send out an email, like right after they download, I send out an email every single time that has the recording in it. So if you're here, you're going to get, I mean, and even if you're not, you'll be on the list, you'll receive it. So that's where they get posted.
Thank you.
And in that one, you'll get the slides. I'll put them up there. So I'm going to hammer this again for 2 reasons. Remember Vesta? There is a charity that we support through the Sophia Unveiled. I've never done this before, but this is all her doing, called Many Hopes. I've posted several posts on Facebook. People will post, they will recognize and say things about my posts, but they don't touch the Many Hopes. I don't know why that is. It is one of the most, it is doing such profound work for children that have been trafficked. I mean, it's literally saving kids' lives. A portion of everything we receive from this summit goes to support that charity. The summit is absolutely free. Please sign up and avail yourself of this week-long ceremony. I learned more during this summit than I even learned in the last one about source, about heart walls, about how the mechanics of our spirituality, it's all in here and it's coming through all of these different women. I highly advise that you all go and sign up for free. And if you see it in your heart, support Many Hopes for sure. Okay. We are going to get up and dance and activate what intentions that you've gotten written down. And I'll remind you all again, ceremony's not over till we dance and seal the deal. Here we go. All right, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for staying. And I will see all of you very soon. Some of you sooner than others. Bye-bye.